Hey friends, it's Deanna here today, and as many of you know, and maybe many of you are just like me, it is almost Christmas, and no, I have not finished my Christmas shopping or my Christmas sewing. So I figured I'd come on here and have my friends help me finish up some of my last minute Christmas gifts. And I wanted to show you what those last minute Christmas gifts are, because Ellie and Mac has so many options for last minute Christmas tree. I was gonna say Christmas tree, why? Christmas gifts, and or any other time of the year, any other gifts for any other time, last minute gifts. And I wanted to just show you what those are, and then show you which ones I'm doing, and just kind of sew a couple with you and have a little bit of fun while I'm trying to get all my stuff done. So let's get to it. All right, so let's start. I've got a few projects in mind, and I have actually my whole family to sew for. So this is kind of good because I'm going to give you a range of different patterns that you can use for the whole family. I've got PJs for my son, and the really cool thing, cool but not cool, it's that he has reached the age now that he fits into the adult patterns. So Ellie and Mac just not that long ago released the new PJ pattern. This is the adult PJ pattern. It's size expansive, so it's really great for everybody in the family, and it has so many options. The really neat thing is that it's a free pattern, so go grab it. So they have a woven version, and they have a knit version, and the knit version is more of a t-shirt and joggers type of deal. So I'm going with the knit version, which makes it super quick, super easy. So that's what I'm doing with these fabrics right here for my son. Then I've got my brother, who is my little brother, but yet somehow bigger than I am. I'm doing a straight fit raglan for him. I love the fit of the straight fit, and I think it's going to be great for him. So I've already got that over here. That's the only thing I've cut out of all my stuff. Then I've got my mom and my dad, and I love doing matching things for my mom and my dad. So I've got this gorgeous tropical fabric. They live in Florida, so it's perfection for them. And I'm going to be making the basic tee for my dad and the Lucy swing top for my mom out of this fabric. I just hope I have enough. I'm always hoping for the best. So those are the patterns that I'm going to be using. The really good thing about these patterns is that they are super quick to sew and very beginner friendly. The hardest would be the pockets on the knit pajamas, I think, but that's not even that hard. So we're gonna go over that. Now, I am not making these today, but if you have a baby in the family, we also have the baby bib and the baby teething ring with the bunny ears, which are super quick and super cute to sew for a baby in your family. Or if you have a little one that loves to wear dresses, we've also got some really simple, like the sweetie pie dress. It's a very simple dress, very easy to cut out, very easy to sew. Or for an adult, we have the tea dress, which is also very simple sew, very quick to sew. And we do have those videos here on our channel. So let's get started. The first thing I'm doing is I am printing my son's PJs, because I've got everything else printed in everybody's sizes except for his PJs. So while that prints, I'll start cutting everything out, and then we'll batch sew. Another bad thing is we've got a black outfit, and then we've got a bunch of light outfits. So we're gonna sew that one first because we've already got black thread on our machine, and then we'll switch it, and then we'll move on to the next ones. Let me know below, comment and let me know what kind of color thread do you use? Do you use a neutral color that you can use with all of them, or do you change them every time? Or do you go directly to the color that you're using? As in, like, I'm using this has red. Would you use red? Would you use green for this one? Would you use black or gray for this one? Let me know below, because I'm always curious to see what everybody does. I like to stick with the white and the black. I'm not very good at changing. I do have a taupe color that I use with some like brownish colors, so sometimes I like to do that as well. All right, well, let me stop talking and get to printing so that we can get this started. Let me mention this while I'm getting ready to print. One thing that's really neat about some of the newer Ellie and Mac patterns that has been done is that we have a printing chart now. So not only can you look at your pattern diagram to show you just exactly which pieces you want to print, but there's also information on what pages to print each piece. So if you just wanted the top and not the bottoms, you would just print the top and not the bottoms, or vice versa. So that's really, really helpful. And then also your size, because you don't need to print every page if your size doesn't go into that page. So that's really, really helpful too. While my pattern's printing for the PJs, I'm gonna go ahead and start with cutting all our other things, my straight fit, make sure I have everything cut out for my straight fit raglan, and I'm gonna cut out my t-shirt, basic tee, and the loosey swing top for my mom and dad. I also wanted to mention that we also have a smaller kids PJ, free PJ pattern, is a Grow With Me PJ pattern, which also has amazing options. My son has just pretty much basically grown out of that sizing, so that's why I'm going with this, the new one. So let's do it. I realized that all my straight fit raglan pieces are cut out, so I'm moving on to the basic tee. I am going with the short sleeve option just because my father lives in Florida, so he wears a short sleeve more often, and I did add some length because he's taller than the pattern is intended for. Now when I got to cutting out the loosey swing top, I wanted to go with a longer length. So I cut the back at a longer length. And then when I went to cut the front, I realized I didn't have enough fabric for the longer length at the front. So I cut the shorter length, but went in as low as I could right at the front of my pattern and then matched up the sides. Now let's put together the PJ pattern. Gotta find my glue. We do have a video tutorial on how to put together patterns if that's something that you want to check out. It's super easy to do it with glue. I like doing this better than tape actually. Now we're gonna start cutting. And the thing is, my son is, he's almost 5 foot, not quite 5, so 5, not quite 5, not quite 5. So I'm going to subtract height. Sorry, I said that like a million times because I'm trying to say it. So you're supposed to subtract 1/2 inch per inch that he's shorter, and the shorter length on this one is a 5'5", so that's 5, 1/2 inch, so that's 2.5 inches that I'm cutting off at the bottom. So I'm going to subtract that from the bottom of everything. 2.5 inches, because I want them to be long enough. Now here's another adjustment that you're going to do if you take your measurements for your crotch height, and so I'm going to take off from that too. So I'm going to cut right here. We have a tutorial on how to do this adjustment over in the instructions, but there is also a tutorial on our Facebook page, so if you want to check that out. So I'm just taking 1 inch off right here. Make sure that it matches. And now remember, you have to take it off of everything. You can't just take it off of one thing. You gotta, if you're adjusting the pattern, can't find my tape. I don't know where my tape went. If you're adjusting the pattern, you gotta have to make sure you adjust everything in the pattern, all the different pieces. As you can see right here, the pattern overlaps, so I'm just going to ease it in. That's when you're grading a pattern, you'll just have to ease those edges in. So like right here it comes up, so we're just gonna ease it in to fit. Now a lot of times when you're hacking a pattern as heavily as I am, you may want to do like a trial run first. I don't have time. Christmas is coming. Let's hope it fits. I'm saving some of this gorgeous fabric to make myself a matching nightgown. And I think I will have enough. Now we can start sewing. Let's start with the straight fit raglan. Once again, this is going to be a fast forward video, but you can check out all the sew-alongs sewing tutorial for this video here on our channel. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is sew on our sleeves. Make sure that you're matching the right front with the front and the back with the back. One will be longer than the other. I also like to go ahead and piece them together at the same time while I'm at it, since I have clips and they're easy to keep together. And I'll prep my bands by folding them right sides together and sewing the raw edge. Next, we sew our sides, right sides together, starting at the armpit seam and going down the sleeve and then down the main bodice. Now let's work on bands. I love to do the little snip trick where I quarter my bands and mark them with a little snip of my scissors. You can go ahead and check out our video, Bands. Well, it shows a really detailed version of how to sew on your bands. While I'm at it, I'm also going to go ahead and hem. I'm just folding and clipping, and I'm going to use my cover stitch for that, which you can see right behind me. Just like that, we're done with our first present. I'm super excited. Turned out super cute. That was super quick. Let's keep going. All right, next let's work on the easiest project of them all, the Lucy swing top. This top is seriously super simple. I am just sewing my shoulder seams and my side seams right now. Being that this is knit, honestly, you could probably leave the edges raw if you wanted to, but now all I'm doing is I am folding that 1/2 inch in for the seam allowance, and I'm going to go over to my cover stitch again, which now has the white thread, and we're going to top stitch all the way around. We do have a video on how to do different methods of how to hem, and also how to hem knits and stuff like that, so if you want to go check that out. How cute did this turn out? Super, super easy, super quick, and super cute. All right, let's move on to our basic tee. Honestly, all these patterns are super, super easy to sew. So here is the basic tee. We'll start by sewing those shoulder seams together and prepping our neckband. I was going to omit this, but you really should give it a memory fold first so that it's easy to fold later. Then I'm gonna go ahead and attach my sleeves by marking my half of my sleeve and placing them right sides together, going to one side and then going to the other side and sewing them on. It's at this moment that I realized that the tee for the pajamas is basically sewn the same way that the basic tee is, so I'm just going to go ahead and do that at the same time. Now once we sewn the sleeves on, we're going to sew the sides just like we did with the other one, right sides together. And I'm going to go ahead and keep working on also the PJ tee, which I have to add the sleeves to as well. I'm also going to prep my neckbands for both the PJ and the basic tee by quartering and then attaching right sides together to that neck. Now time to sew those sides on this tee and also to hem my basic tee because that's ready. So I just seam 1/2 inch up and do that on my cover stitch. This is my cover stitch right here. Super easy and super quick to hem with it. We finished. Here is the top. This is the basic tee for my dad that matches the Lucy swing top for my mom. Here is the top of the PJs for my son. Now all we've got left to do is to make the bottoms. Now remember, this is a free pattern. So if you want to, why would you not want to? Go grab this free pattern from ellieandmac.com. So let's sew out the pants and we'll be done. I'm super excited. Time for pants. Now you can definitely omit the pockets, but I am not doing that on this. So let me go ahead and add those pockets on. This is the pocket bag, the facing. Then I'm gonna grab my pocket bag and put it right on top and sew those sides and bottom. Now I'm going to sew, I'm sewing the bag on here as well. Make sure to clip the pocket so it doesn't get folded out when you're going to sew those two together or baste them together. And now I'm going to go ahead and grab the crotch seam of the front pants and of the two backs together and sew them. There's a very detailed version of how to sew these up on our video tutorial online for the PJs. So go check that out if you have any questions. This is just a sped along video for you to see how easy it really is. Now we're gonna sew our side seams. I'm sewing my outer seams, well, pinning them right now, but then I'm gonna sew them. And I'm gonna go ahead and do my inseam at the same time since I'm using clips. I'm also prepping the band by sewing that short raw edge right sides together. Now I am going to unfold that and fold it wrong sides together and quarter it. This is my band. And I'm going to attach it to my pants right sides together. And I did not do that. If you can see right there, I'm attaching it wrong sides together. I don't know why. Don't follow my example. All right, friends, we're basically done. These are gonna be adorable. Here they are with the top. Now, one of the things about sewing quickly is that sometimes you make those little mistakes, like the fact that I sewed my waistband wrong sides together, which means that my seam is on the outer side. How I'm going to fix this is, instead of picking everything out because I don't feel like it, it's just jammies, this top is gonna go over it anyway, I'm going to reverse cover stitch this right here. So I'm just gonna basically top stitch it and you'll have a reverse cover stitch that will hold this seam down, and I think that will be just fine. I'm also not hemming these because there's two reasons. It's a knit, it doesn't necessarily need to be hemmed, but also I don't know how it's gonna fit on him because I did measure him, but I've never sewn an adult size for him. So I'm going to see how it fits first, and then if I want to come back and hem it, I will do that later once they're tried on. But we are done. I'm going to go sew these, reverse cover stitch, finish them up, and then we'll be done. I hope you enjoyed this little quick sew along. Remember, every one of these is on our video. It has a video tutorial, so you can go back and sew them with me. Oh, and this one back here. So go check them out, go get them. If you did not get that free PJ pattern, go get that free PJ pattern and get your last minute gifts done. So I'll see you all next time. Subscribe, comment if you haven't, like and share. Bye.